Hi, Sister Call. I know that you said on my last update that you wanted to see some of my video, and I don't have it totally done yet. And right now it's just like bits and pieces, so it wouldn't make any sense if I sent it to you. But I wanted to give you a heads up on an update on what I'm thinking to do for the project, and this might be a little bit strange, and I don't know if it's going to come to you in parts. I'm just doing it on my phone. I was going to do it on Zoom, but I'm not totally sure how to work Zoom. Yeah, I feel like I'm still kind of a baby about it. So I decided to do an interview kind of process. So my project is my intended audience is newly married couples considering having children and couples with children. And that what I want to get across and what I want them to gain from my video is I want them to gain a better understanding of the importance of raising children well and how it makes a big impact on society for generations. So I came up with these questions, these 16 questions that kind of go along with the chapters that I read. And along the chapters, I made notes and had little things that I want to put into the project. But I came up with these 16 questions. And so the questions are: 1, what are some good questions you and your spouse should ask each other when deciding whether or not to have children? 2, what are some appropriate ways you can teach your children to have correct behavior? And I'm looking for more appropriate ways to discipline your child. What are some things you hope to change as a parent when raising your children that you wished your parents did with you? Why do you think this has made you or will make you a better parent? What are some things you are afraid of repeating with your children because of how you were raised? 4, what are ways that you have used your religious beliefs to raise your children? 5, how did your mother nurture or not nurture you that has made an impact in your life? 6, how did your father nurture or not nurture you that has made an impact on your life? 7, what are your thoughts on how we as a society can better support unwed parents in helping them raise their children? This can also apply to parents who have been divorced and are now raising children on their own. 8, in what ways can we support friends and family struggling with infertility? 9, in what ways have your temple covenants helped you in raising your children? 10, what are your hopes and dreams for your children and your children's children? What experiences have you had that have helped? 11. 11, what experiences have you had that have helped you know that creating and building a family is what you want to do in this life? 12, in what ways have you forgiven members in your family that has helped you develop into a better person? 13, has there been a time where you have had to ask for forgiveness within your family? How has that experience changed the relationship and made you a better person? 14, what have been your biggest blessings when serving your family? 15, what are some traditions you hope to pass on to your children? How will these traditions better their lives? And how have these traditions made your life better? And 16, what are your biggest dreams for your children and for your marriage? So I asked kind of a variety of people. I'm a convert to the church, and so I asked my parents who are not members. I asked a friend of mine who was raised in the church but has gone inactive. I asked my brother-in-law, who's not yet married, and so he doesn't have kids. So I wanted to get his perspective. I asked my friend Janice, who's also a convert, so she kind of comes from not being raised in the church and what she wants to instill in her children as well, while being active in the church. And then I asked my sister-in-law, who was raised in the church. She has 4 children, and she's been married for over 10 years, and so she has a little more experience than the rest of us. I also am going to live interview my husband. And by live interview, I mean I'm going to put that interview. A lot of these interviews I had to do through email. They just had to send me their answers back. So for my husband, I want to get an interview with him and I talking about this topic. And then I want to also have a friend of mine who's coming into town the week that this is due. So that's a little bit, I feel like it might be cutting it a little too close. She is not a member of the church. She was not raised in a religious home. I think she's actually probably atheist, but I wanted to get her perspective on it as well. Because I want the intended audience to not only be members of the church, but also members outside of the church. So those are my thoughts. I'm planning on making an outline and just kind of bringing it all together. I also had a couple questions that I was going to ask my children, to kind of see they're 7, 5, and 2. And I obviously won't ask the 2-year-old because he won't be able to talk to me. But my 7 and 5-year-old, I want to see how they see the world. So that's my plan. I hope that all that sounds right. The only things left that I have to do are to make an outline for what I want it to look like, to have all the pieces in the right place. And then I was just going to kind of go over the answers that a lot of them are very similar, which I thought was really interesting because it's people from all different backgrounds. So I'm trying to make I'm going to try to kind of go over certain things and what they talk about and their perspective on these topics, and then kind of bring it all together with some of the quotes from the chapter, and hopefully just get a really good, solid idea of how we can raise better generations, and not even better, but just be better parents to our children than what our parents were with us, right? And I think that it really just starts with, even if you don't have a great foundation of family, you can build on that and you can change your life, which in turn will change generations. It's just making a choice. So I'm hoping to kind of cultivate that and bring it all together for the project. And I hope that this is what you were looking for. I'm so sorry it's not totally the specific video that I'm doing. I just want to make sure that everything is put together well. So now I'm just kind of in like those final stages of just putting the puzzle piece together. So I am really excited to hear your feedback and your thoughts, and also I am very curious on what my time should be. Should it be a video that's 5 minutes? Should it be a video that's 10 minutes? Should it be a video that's 15 minutes? If you could give me kind of some guidance on that to help me consolidate but also still get the point across, that would be great. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.